anytime I match up with any of those guys, I'm gonna guard them, and hopefully they guard me, and I showcase that I'm a lot better than them.
Anthony Edwards has already shown he has the talent to be a franchise player, and as a former first overall draft pick, has proven that was the correct choice in the 2020 NBA draft, as he's easily the best player of that class and just might be the best player drafted this entire decade. Good enough, but for these reasons, I believe he has the chance to go down as not just that, but one of the best at his position of all time, and barring a career-altering setback like significant injury, he'll likely go down as a top 5 shooting guard somewhere behind Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade. Guys that have all won multiple championships with James Harden and Allen Iverson who haven't in contention. He's already changed the culture in Minnesota with plays that shade the image of the greatest player of all time, leading to many fans believing he's actually a descendant of the GOAT. Winning a championship for a franchise like the Timberwolves, or multiple, may dare I say, make him one of the greatest in the NBA, like he already believes he is. What I like about Edwards most is that he isn't shy about his confidence and even vows to be the best player in the league in about 2-3 years. His Timberwolves have already swept the Phoenix Suns with one of the greatest NBA talents on the roster in Kevin Durant, and Edwards dominated his role as the new face of the team, one attempting to build around Karl Anthony Towns going forward until Edwards hit his growth spurt and transformed into an unstoppable force on offense. He's only 22 years old now in year 4, has improved every year, a 2-time NBA All-Star, and has the personality the NBA needs representing their league in preparation for the exodus of LeBron James whenever he does decide to hang up the crown. Not to put the chick before the egg though, because Anthony Edwards still has a lot to prove beyond having the charisma to make fans believe. As of now, he has no NBA championships. His team has made it past the first round of the playoffs for the first time in his career, and he still has a lot of untapped potential on the defensive end to round out his overall game. 2 of those he's working on as we speak, with his team being a game behind being the best team in the Western Conference during the regular season, and he has a good chance making a deep playoff run in 2024. Defensively, with the athleticism he has, along with the desire to be the best in the game, one can only believe he'll improve there as well. If he pulls these off, Anthony Edwards will be a top 5 shooting guard ever, mainly for these reasons. Let's talk about it. Salute to my man BG on IG for this request. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Growth spurt number 1, the mentality to be the best. When it comes to the NBA, every player deserves to play on that floor and have earned the right at some point in their journey to be one of the small percent of basketball players that made the NBA. They're all good, but what separates them is their different levels of mental makeup and focus on not just making it there, but being the best every time they play. We've seen thousands of players, but we can count on both hands the ones that want to go past being good players, even all-stars, but the best. Michael Jordan comes to mind, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, who I've been critical of in the past for how he wins, but there's no denying LeBron's daily focus all year round is basketball and being the best he can. Kevin Durant also comes to mind of current players, with others who have the right mentality but aren't naturally as gifted as Anthony Edwards, which makes him special. While some players play to secure their financial future, and some for the amenities it brings being a global star, a rare few like Anthony Edwards possess a mentality where basketball and winning in competition is still the childlike feeling of gratification. Edwards, when asked about his mentality compared to other top shooting guards in the league,
just kill everybody, man. That's my mindset.
Whoever I matched up against, guard them on the defensive end, and hopefully they guard me as well so I can show them I'm better. If that's not the closest response to the Mamba mentality, then I don't know what more you want. He wasn't politically correct and he didn't mince words. That mentality is rare and is why he has the insane potential to be one of the greats. His most recent display of this mentality was in his 2024 first-round playoff matchup against a team like the Phoenix Suns, who were the preseason favorite to win the West, who have their big three set in place, and a player in Durant who's one of the best in the game. In all but one game, he had at least 30 points, closing out a sweep of the great Durant with 40 points and a DX celebration to go along with it. He's averaging 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists so far in the playoffs, shooting 43% from 3 as well. Mentally, he's locked in and confident in his potential, with the biggest test of his career up next in the Denver Nuggets. Having the mentality he has can't be taught, and all the greats share that, giving Edwards a great foundation going forward. Growth spurt number 2, the pedigree. Speaking of foundation, Anthony also had the unique basketball upbringing and journey through the amateur ranks that makes an all-time great. He began his sports journey actually as a football player, and in his Pop Warner days was one of the standout talents at wide receiver, quarterback, and running back. In my opinion, whenever a kid for some reason starts out playing a sport like football, it always does well for them physically and maybe even mentally. Football builds that toughness and competitiveness early, training to use your body as everything, including a weapon. The player develops his entire body and not just relying on God-gifted talent. When he hits the basketball floor, I believe he's much more able to absorb contact and able to use all his physical tools to get by his defender. Edwards watched his brothers play basketball and took a liking to it, switching to it around 10 years old, and almost immediately he became one of the best in his class. By his senior year, Edwards was easily the best shooting guard in the class, ranked only behind James Wiseman overall in the country. He was a McDonald's All-American and Jordan Brand participant, ending his career recruited by all the top schools in the country. He stayed close to home and attended Georgia, becoming their biggest recruit ever. This added to his pedigree, choosing a smaller name school because immediately it put him in position to train, develop, and be tested as a star on the team, not just one of the guys. Every night he had to carry his Bulldogs team, and every night his opponent had him circled on the game plan. He also played for Tom Crean, who developed Dwayne Wade in the same role, and he became the third best shooting guard ever. By the time Anthony Edwards got to the league, he was already used to being the star on the team his entire life, which made nothing new to him except the level of competition. After a few years getting used to that, he looks to be one of the best players on the NBA level as well. Growth spurt number 3, the right situation. And lastly, I think Anthony Edwards fell into the right situation at the right time in being drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves, who gives him the right space he needs to be the player many feel he will be. Him being added to that team with Karl Anthony Towns, the face of the team when he got there, gave him the years he needed to slowly learn the game and how to be a top player on the NBA level, while not having some of the pressures to win as many games or contend for a championship early on. We've all seen Minnesota for years attempt to develop a franchise player into one of the tops in the league, and it just hasn't ever worked, leading to team success outside KG getting to the conference finals in 03-04. In 20 years, the T-Wolves have been one of the worst franchises and insignificant when it came to drafting and developing a top player. Who can forget them passing on Steph Curry and DeMar DeRozan, not to mention Jeff Teague and Drew Holiday, for Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio, back-to-back picks in 2009 that stained the franchise as a team with no idea what they're doing, until now. With Karl Anthony Towns and Edwards, also the addition of Gobert, Minnesota looks to be a great place Edwards can develop and even win it all at some point. Winning there means a lot more to me than him joining Ja Morant and let's say Chet Holmgren sometime down the line to win a championship. If he gets multiple there, he's officially in the conversation. Thing is, it looks very well possible. All in all, Anthony Edwards sits in good position as the face of the league after LeBron retires. Durant has already been eliminated, Curry is in rebuild mode, leaving Luka and Shai his only real competition, as Ja Morant and LaMelo Ball can't stay on the floor. Great talent, but for these reasons may be one of the all-time great shooting guards, already called the future of American basketball. Salute, much respect. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.
He is the future of American basketball.